Week 4 of the NFL season on Sunday started and kicked off with a game between the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars played in Wembley Stadium in London, England. It was the 10th game for the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, but it was also the first game for the Jacksonville Jaguars in Andy's room. Toy Story Funday Football was a thing that was on Disney Plus. It was a side broadcast. There was, of course, the traditional broadcast on ESPN Plus, and then there was this other one on Disney Plus. And honestly, I actually thought it turned out pretty well. I did hear a little bit about the NHL game that they did with Big City Greens. I did hear about that just a little bit. Of course, I didn't watch it, of course, because I'm not really a huge NHL person. But I did hear about it, and I did hear that that was pretty okay. So whenever I heard about this, I was super interested. This one seemed very interesting, and it kind of was. Technical issues were present, and it was very, very awkward when they occurred because they would have to kind of like, I know the play-by-play commentator was kind of like, you would kind of pause and like kind of like figure out what's going on and try to articulate whatever's happening on the field. But they were mostly in the beginning of the game. Probably like the first quarter, I think. It was only in the first quarter, I believe. Once the second, third, and fourth quarter rolled around, pretty much everything was resolved, which is good. And then whenever it worked, it was pretty phenomenal. I won't lie. The animation of the players were really, really good. It got a bit weird at times, though. I noticed whenever they were really close to each other, they would always kind of like, they kind of like spazzed out a little bit. It was kind of weird, but it could have been like the trackers on the actual players kind of getting like interference or whatever. I'm not really too sure technical terms. But some of the plays were translated very, very well because I was watching both broadcasts at the exact same time. I was watching the normal broadcasts and then the Disney Plus broadcast. And on both ends, it looked pretty good. A lot of plays were, pretty accurate. And thankfully, all of the big highlights, like the one-handed catch, the pick six, that happened with the Jacksonville Jaguars in the first half, those were translated beautifully into Andy's room. That was awesome. That was really, really cool. Some other things, Slinky Dog being the chains was awesome. I like that. That was sweet. That was a nice little idea that they had. Text over players during big moments or just during key moments. Like there was cool, yay, woohoo, and all these other ones. Trivia questions during the breaks. That was awesome. Same with the interviews with the players, talking about various just Toy Story related things, talking about playing in Andy's room, stuff like that. It was neat. I like the way, it was done, and some of the answers were pretty cool. Some bits were also pretty funny as well. The touchdown celebrations were cool. They had all the characters going around, and there was touchdown. It was cool. Even the field goals made up the blocks or whatever, and whenever they kicked it through the uprights and it was a good field goal, it would just all topple over. There was also some random animations between plays, the claw being the placer for the ball, for the line of scrimmage. Just at the end of every single play, it would spot the ball, which I thought was really neat. Let me think. Helmet cam, the alien sky cam was kind of cool. The sideline reporter, the play-by-play commentator, as well as the analyst were all animated as well. Which was kind of uncanny at times, but it was pretty fun. It was a good uncanny. It was good, especially whenever they were demonstrating various things like the stiff arm and stuff like that. That was fun. That was some fun stuff right there. Both the play-by-play commentator and the analyst did super well in this. The sideline reporter as well. And much like Nickelodeon, this broadcast explains some things about the rules and other various things, doing it in a unique way, although sometimes, and this is one of the gripes I had with this, just one of them, they did certain things where they would explain certain things, but they'd also leave certain things out. I remember whenever they first did, I think it was the first year of Nickelodeon's, broadcast for the NFL. They had, young Sheldon explain all the penalties and, do all these things. And it was, every penalty. Every time there was a new penalty on screen that was being, shown, they were explaining it. And they were making sure they would explain every single one. Here you had some of them being explained, but not all of them, which is kind of weird. It's like, why not explain them all if you're gonna, go ahead and go through the effort of explaining those types of things? But whatever. I'm a big scorebug nerd, so I will say that Disney upped Nickelodeon in terms of their scorebug design for this game. They had the iconic Andy's room sort of wall design on the scorebug. The scorebug was also pretty pleasing to look at as well, unlike the Nickelodeon one with the weird orange and the lime green, which really made no sense whatsoever. Let me think. Fire on the cleats during, like, big speedy plays, especially during that pick six that I mentioned earlier. That was pretty cool. That was awesome. The halftime show. That's another thing. They had a halftime show, which, to my knowledge, I do not think Nickelodeon had a halftime show like this. Duke Kaboom did a Daredevil spectacular, doing like this big jump over a bunch of double-decker buses. It was sweet. I liked it. It was fun. Miles better than anything Nickelodeon has done for the halftime show, as far as I'm aware. Most of the time, if I remember correctly, I think it was just mostly trailers or teasers. Like they did Big Nate, I believe, one of those years. So that was definitely cool. And then the other thing, and the final thing I'm going to get to, is some of the camera angles were kind of questionable. There was times where you would have the camera right on the action, and I thought that was perfect. I thought it was perfect spot for the camera to be. And then there was, like, wide shots. I'm not too sure if those were technical issues or not, but some of them were kind of questionable. Some of them were kind of... But ultimately, what you have here is a pretty awesome thing. That was so good. It was cool. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would enjoy it that much. And it certainly surprised me, for sure. Certainly surprised me. So, guys, I guess I will go ahead and see you guys in my next video. This was a weird one, but it was a review. And I wanted to do it because I did the, Nick NFL games whenever those first started a few years ago. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and, yeah, it's been Toy Story 16. I'll go and see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.